Hey, welcome back to DeBeers Foundation Part 2, DeBeers Foundation Part 2. A couple things I wanted to kind of remind myself of, and maybe you guys, if you're interested. Let's talk about this. You remember that what I was talking about with Perry's deal is uh, if I had, how'd I do this? If I took this wall right here, which I think is interesting, and I turned it to an invisible wall, then I get my second floor. Look at this. My second floor pops out over there. I can't explain why, but it does. Control Z, so I'm going to do it. So to avoid doing that, I don't make it an invisible wall because I can make this UU. I can make this stem wall 24 inches wide, and it's not going to affect. You see, it's not. Ain't that a pistol? What happened there? I don't know. UU. Make it back to 8 inches. I don't care. 8 inches. I have to reconnect these walls. The walls didn't get reconnected automatically. Now I'm back to where I wanted to be. And if I make it invisible, this is the lesson. Don't make that wall invisible. Don't make that wall invisible. I think there have been situations where, 08 to copy, and I'm going to pull this over here. There have been situations where I wanted to have a wall between, a stem wall between that divided the two rooms. You get what I'm saying? Up a level and make this door a little bit smaller. Control C and stick it over here and down a level. Yeah, and so I want to make that. I want a stem wall there. Why would I ever want to make it invisible? Oh, I know why I would want to make it invisible. I would want to make it invisible in case this doesn't happen a lot. Don't believe me. If I wanted to divide the space into two spaces, and I didn't want to see this wall, Control X, go up a level, 0.6. In fact, this is where I would probably put it right there, and I would make this UU. I'd make this invisible because you think about what you got. You just figure it out yourself. There we go. And if I go down, if I select this, oh Jesus Christ, is this a foundation? It looks like I'm building a foundation right there. Someone is. Why would I have done this? Oh, I know. I would have done this. I would have done this if oh, here's a perfect example of why I would have done this. If I wanted to make a separate room, and I didn't want it to be invisible. Oh, okay. I didn't want to make it invisible. Got it. There it is. Why do I have a footing underneath it? Why do I have a footing underneath it? Because it's foundation wall. That's why. Oh, okay. Well, here's the deal. So I want to have a wall right there, but really I want that wall to sit on a stem wall. That's why. So I come down here, 1, 2, select this, Control C, go down a level. I'm not sure why I would want to make it invisible again. I just know there's been cases where I wanted to, and this is Perry's method. He taught me how to. Sometimes you want to make these foundation walls invisible, but I'm not sure why. There it is, right there. LK. HR. There. So why would I have wanted to have changed that to invisible? I'm not sure. Because if I did, anyway, I can. There's a reason. You can make it invisible. Watch this. It divides the space into two spaces. You make it invisible. Invisible wall. Done. And you don't see it there, but you've got two different spaces. That's why. And I forgot what I've done it before. I'm not sure why, but why Perry didn't have a problem with this overhanging. He didn't use the invisible, and he didn't have the overhanging foundation, is because his room was all the same level. If you get what I'm saying, 1, 2, structure. I think everything was at. You can't change it. Oh. Can't change it 2 at one time. But forget it. You got my point there, I think. What was the point? Let me restate the point one more time. What did I just do? Stop. Hey, sorry, I'm not sure if there might be a disconnect here, but I just got through watching it. A little bit of one of Trump's. Oh, he was meeting with the pharmaceutical companies. He was meeting with the pharmaceutical companies. I don't know. I don't know what your politics are, but that guy, whether you like him or not, he makes things happen. That's the way I see it. Anyway, here's a point I want to make. One thing here. Here's a section 3 right here. Section 3 right here. I don't know where it is. It's over. It's somewhere. Here it is. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but this is something we had been asking for quite a while, or I had, probably all of us. And it's a matter of you can actually control. There's a sill plate. There's a sill plate right on top of that wall. There's a sill plate right on top of that wall. And I can control the size of that sill plate, and I just want to show you something. I can change the sill plate to go to foundation 3.5, 2x4. I can put a 2x4 sill plate on there. Look at this. Look at it. That's a 2x4 sill plate on there. Oh. Holy shit. Okay, now here's the point. This sill plate is lined up with, I'm going to auto detail this. This sill plate, I do this because I'm learning, okay? I mean, if you know it already, fine, don't watch it. So suppose I change this sill, by the way, this stem wall that's sitting on is 8 inches, okay? Suppose I change the sill plate suppose I change the sill plate, foundation sill plate to 8 inches, okay? From 8 inches. Oh, am I looking at the wrong wall? Oh, this is the wall. I'm looking at the wrong wall. Sorry. This is the wall I'm looking at over here. Right there. That's the wall I'm looking at. I'm going to auto detail it. Auto detail it. Right there it is. And so now I'm going to see if I can change that wall. So it's 8 inch sill plate, right? Select this right here. Select this wall, UU, and I'm going to change the sill plate to foundation. I'm learning this for the first time too. 2x6. I love it. I love it. Suppose I change this. Suppose I change this to foundation. Suppose I change it to a 3.5. 2x4. Oops. Look what just happened. Now that sill plate is centered underneath this wall up above. So my point is, okay, here's the point. This is the point. The point is, you want the sill plate on top of this wall to match the wall up above, period. Oh, no, wait, you don't want it to be any less. If you have a 2x6 wall on top, make it a 2x6. If you have a 2x4 wall on top, make it a 2x4. Minimum. Watch this. If I come up here, I select this wall, BH, and I change this to UU to a 2x4 wall, okay? I'm going to change it to a 2x4 wall just for the fun of it. Watch. See, I just changed it to a 2x4 wall. Now I go down to the sill plate down here, UU, and I change it to a foundation 3.5 inch sill plate. Works good, right? If you make it smaller, it's centered underneath the wall. But which is not good, I don't think. So you want to make it at least the same size, which makes sense. I mean, I'm not. So suppose I make it 7.5, 8 inches. There it is. It takes up the whole space of that sill plate, wall below. Now, suppose the question is, suppose I make this the sill plate. I'm just pushing it, okay? 12 inches. What happens? Now, it's centered underneath the wall above. So this is the lesson. This is the lesson. I'm going to make a statement right now. 1-1. I'm going to make a statement right now. The sill plate on any wall, on any foundation wall, should be at least as wide as the wall above, but no wider than the wall itself that it's sitting on. So I don't care what size you make it, just make it somewhere in the middle. So if I come over here and I make it 7 inches, watch this, foundation 7 inches. That's the lesson, and it makes sense. I mean, what else do you want? There it is. It's lined up on the outside, and it's inside this wall a little bit. Blah blah blah. So, okay, so anyway, sill plate, minimum width of the wall above, maximum width the wall it's sitting on. Period. Now, what happened to this wall right here? What happened to this wall right here? I've got a section right here. There it is. There it is right there. There it is right there. So my question is, why don't I see a sill plate there? Why don't I see a sill plate right there? Because when I was playing with this before, because when I was playing with this before structure, I changed the height of this of the default. I changed the height. If you remember, default height. I now get my sill plate back. I now get my sill plate back, and that's the only point of this. That is simply the only point. I now get my sill plate back, and so now I'm going to make it a I'm going to make it a foundation 7.5 sill plate, and that's what's kind of cool. 7.5 sill plate. Well, by the way, suppose I go ahead and make this a 8-inch thick sill plate. I'm just playing around with it, not 1.5. We all know it's going to be a 2x4, right? 2x8, right? But I'm going to make it I don't care, 6 inches thick. There you go. It actually, by the way, what happened was it just actually dropped that the wall down. Am I right? Tab, there it is. There's the wall. It's actually lower. I mean, that sill plate pushed the wall down. I think that makes sense. So I think I really kind of touched on everything. So to kind of sum this up, this wall, this wall to create a mono slab. This is only necessary with a mono slab. Remember, I mean, if you saw the other videos, this whole thing is for the mono slab situation. If it's a 2-pour stem wall and a concrete slab, you don't need to do this extra wall that Perry started talking about, and I'm just expanding on. But if you do have a mono slab here and then a raised floor over here, then you do need to have this extra wall to separate this foundation from this foundation. And if you have that to separate the two foundations, then you can make it invisible, but you can create problems with the floor above. The key here is to go. The key is to just make it a real thin wall. Am I right? A very thin wall, 1/16 of an inch. And it looks like it should look right there. That's the way it should look. And we know that there's really a wall there, but blah, 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 blah. That's the end. That's the end of part 2. And if we're lucky, you got something out of that. But who knows? Isn't politics interesting right now? It just blows me away what's going on. Whether you like Trump or not, it's just absolutely fascinating. Here in California, we got so much freaking regulations. It takes more time for me to address issues that the city or county might have than to draw the plans initially. So I figure what it's going to cost to draw the plans, then I just double it. Because I got to deal with the freaking cities who have all sorts of funny things. And part of the problem with that is, and Trump talks about it, and that is, it's a time delay. It's a time delay. He was talking to the pharmaceutical companies, and they're waiting, 15 years to get a product approved? 15 years? He says, we're going to speed that up. You're going to know a lot sooner whether it's approved or not. But we're not going to make you hang on for 15 years. And so, anyway, I'm done preaching. That's it. That's the end.